Speaking of people crazy, I have an article for you, chat. I have an article. Man who mixed sperm with fathers in order to get partner pregnant will not have to take a paternity test. High Court rules. A man who mixed his sperm with his dad's in order to get his partner pregnant will not have to take a paternity test, despite it being unclear which man is the true father. Mr. Justice Poole conceded when he gave the ruling that there was a strong chance the person the child thinks is his grandfather is actually his biological father. If that were the case, it would mean the man he thinks is his father would in fact be his half-brother. Mr. Justice Poole said the 5-year-old boy, known only as D, could suffer emotional harm if he were to learn of how he was conceived. How is it that a 5-year-old would suffer emotional harm learning that his father is actually his half-brother and his grandfather is actually his father? But it's perfectly fine to teach 5-year-olds that you definitely actually can completely become a man as long as you change your body, right? Like, how do we teach them that? How are we doing that? I'm confused here. How I even got that? A man referred to only as PQ and his then partner JK had agreed to mix his sperm with that of his father and inject it into the woman after he experienced fertility problems and was unable to afford IVF treatment. The court heard at a hearing last month. Mr. Justice Poole was told the arrangement was always intended to be kept secret and resulted in the birth of a boy. Barnsley Council brought a legal bid over the percentage of the child, or over the parentage, I was like, what? A legal bid over the parentage of the child after it was informed about the circumstances of the conception in separate proceedings. What? So, like, they didn't even bring this to court? They were in court for something else, and the court was like, yeah, actually, you know what? We need to prosecute this. What the fuck? Okay, but why did they do that arrangement? That's a good question. What is wrong with people? And somehow it doesn't surprise me that people who thought it was a good idea to mix, like, father and son sperm to inseminate the son's partner ended up in court for some reason not related to this. Cuckolding fetishists get the chair. What was the thought process? Dude went, I'm infertile? Better ask my dad. I fucking guess so. Every child over the age of 4 in New York gets an attorney to assess whether the child would be emotionally harmed by taking a DNA test. That's really weird. I'm assuming, based on what they're saying by Barnsley Council, that this is in England. It's also Sky News, UK, yeah? High Court? High Court sounds like a British thing. Still the same family line, I guess. Inbreeding is not good, chat. Look what it did to royalty. Different article says it was because they couldn't afford IVF. No, it says that here too. It says that they couldn't afford IVF. Yeah, he experienced fertility problems and was unable to afford IVF treatment. The court heard at a hearing last month. But, like, even if you can't afford IVF treatment, that's no reason to ask your fucking dad. Like, what the hell? The term keep it in the family gets a new meaning. The High Court was an American thing that an asshole in the UK decided we desperately needed. It's caused many problems. I have never heard the term High Court in the United States. It's not inbreeding. The mom isn't his sister. I mean, I feel like that's still inbreeding, isn't it? Because it's the same family line. I mean, I guess maybe it... I don't know if it's not as bad if it's not the mother being inbred. I don't know, man. I'm not a fucking legal expert on incest. It's not inbreeding, it's cuckoldry. Technically not, it'd just be polygamy. What the fuck? What the fuck? The bloodline must remain pure. I hate this. The council asked the High Court in Sheffield to order the DNA test should be carried out to determine which man was Dee's father. But in a judgment on Thursday, Mr. Justice Poole dismissed the bid, finding the council had no stake in the outcome. The judge said the family had created a welfare minefield adding, I cannot believe that JK, PQ, and his father, RS, properly thought through the ramifications for their scheme for JK to become pregnant. Otherwise, it is unlikely that they would have embarked upon it. I don't know anything about, like, welfare in England, so I don't know how they created a welfare minefield. I guess because, like, she can now go after both of them for child support? Maybe? I don't know, man. It's like having a little brother for a son. Not inbred. Jesus Christ. There's no crossing of the family tree, still straight branches, you're thinking? So no incest? That's still really weird. Like, you know, I wouldn't... Like, if I had a husband and he was for some reason infertile, I wouldn't want him to, like, mix his sperm with his father's to impregnate me. It's weird. The welfare state is extremely easy to exploit here in the UK.
Spicy cat raid.
It's a legal nightmare. Jesus Christ. Lokiest Loki, thank you for the raid, dude. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, Raiders. You still don't understand why they mixed the sperm? I guess so that the husband, or I guess partner, I don't know if they're married, so the partner wouldn't feel, like, lesser than, question mark? I don't know. It's like, if I let my father fuck my partner, I'm a cuck, but if we mix our sperm together and just inject it in her, that's okay? I don't know, man. The sperm did the fusion dance to become a single super sperm. He continued that the boy is a unique child who would not exist but for the unusual arrangements made for his conception, but those arrangements have also created the potential for him to suffer emotional harm were he to learn of them. He's not a fucking chimera. Like, they didn't, like, vivisect him up in a lab with, like, dogs and shit. Like, Mr. Justice Poole said that the man had established father and son relationship with the child, and it was up to him and the boy's mother to manage the latent risks to his welfare. Well, yeah, isn't that obvious? Like, I don't understand why the court would even get involved here, honestly. What Coomer content did Kirsche produce in the past hour? I don't think I produced Coomer content. So hold up, they couldn't afford IVF, so how did they get the dad's sperm in the Vaguba? Like a turkey baster, probably. The old-fashioned way, you know? If you found out your sperm was weak in the future, you'd just fuck at least twice as often to make up for it. What the fuck? He added, it must be acknowledged that the circumstances of Dee's conception cannot now be undone. It's like, well, we would have considered a post-birth abortion, but this little nerd is already 5 years old. We can't get rid of him. We can't get rid of him now. It's a couple of years too late. Without testing, his biological paternity remains uncertain, but there's a strong chance, to say the least, that the person he thinks is his grandfather is his biological father, and that the person he thinks is his father is his biological half-brother. Dismissing the council's bid, the judge said the body does not have the parental responsibility or a personal interest in the boy's biological parentage. He added, it may wish to know who is Dee's biological father, but it has no stake in the outcome of its application. A wish to uphold the public interest in maintaining accurate records of births does not confer a personal interest in the determination of such an application. Mr. Justice Poole concluded that the family may wish to undergo a paternity test to tell the child at a later date, but that is a matter for them. I'm mourning! Wait, You're not my dad, you can't tell me what to do. Man, you know. Hello, Wyatt. Is it all initials for the parties, or the real names given? No, it's all initials. They don't name any of them. What if we just sink the entire island? I'd be okay with that. This feels like a joke, like they set it up for a massive D's nuts joke. Well, D is the child, right? So you'd have to set it up differently, right? You'd have to be like, D, I know you've been wondering where you came from, and you came from D's nuts. Britannia rules neath the waves. We must make the new Atlantis. Iflosion. Thank you for the Proom sub, my guy. Thank you. Thank you. Whose nut did D come from? The D's does not fall far from the nut. Mixed in with the dad's nuts. If we sink Britain, where will I get my overpriced plastic miniatures from? Japan? Next question. The kid was literally conceived when his brother and his father gangbanged his mother. Well, they didn't even, like, double penetrate the mother. They just mixed the sperm together afterwards. So it was like, you can't let sperm just hang around for too long either, because it'll die. So, like, the son and the father must have just, like, jerked off or some shit in, like, 2 separate rooms, and then mixed their kumis in some cups, and then put a turkey baster in the kumi cup, and then injected the kumi into the woman. Good old family bonding. Both gave her a face mask, and then she manually put it in. Oh my god. That's so weird! Yeah, it is very weird. Your wishful thinking says 2 separate... That is my wishful thinking. I guess if you want to have a degenerate scenario, the father and the son could have been jerking off next to each other, with the woman looking on from the bed, tapping a riding crop against her elbow, being like, I wonder which one of you is going to have more cum. One of you is definitely inferior to the other. You know, it could be something like that. You literally just opened the stream. What the fuck? Oh, we're talking about strange family conception. Hidden name of the 199. My canon is that they docked and he stuck it in. What the fuck? Clips, my good old friend. Let's see. What tab do we go to from here?